I'm just looking at it, and it looks like what it looks like. I think it would have helped, certainly, if when we were having the Tom Davis districts explained that we got some disclosure on Thursday that I pulled these directly from the publicly submitted maps that are called the Davis maps, the same ones that Mr. McDougall has asked us to pull out and look at separately in the Hampton Roads area. That, if that was what had happened, it seemed like we might have had a similar explanation for what those maps were. But I also think it's important, and I get the idea that we just keep going through the process, but at the end of the day, we have to vote on maps and results, and so the results matter. And so whether it's just a happy coincidence that we've wound up with a map that looks almost exactly like what the Republican Redistricting Trust would have drawn, or not, if we are going to make progress, I do not agree with Mr. Harrell that tinkering around the edges of this map will get us further along. I think that, to Delegate Ranson's point, if we want to, I'm happy to talk maps and we can get everybody together and we can have a quorum. I feel like everybody's a little bit worn out, and to the extent that I've worn people out, I take some responsibility for that. But it's important to me that we get to a result at the end that we can all live with. And this is not going to get us there, certainly not taking around the edges. And certainly, look, I don't accept Northern Virginia. I think there's a lot of problems. We heard from Mr. Alcorn, we heard from a number of others about the Dulles Corridor, about breaking Fairfax County into 3 different parts, about not bringing Prince William into Northern Virginia. So we have a lot of work, not just tinkering, but a lot of work to do there. I really don't understand how even lifting districts from another map could have split Lynchburg after all the conversations we've had about that. And I know we don't do encumbered addresses, and Senator Barker pointed out that you don't have to live in your congressional district to represent it, but it does seem to me, from what I've been able to ascertain, that we've moved Democratic representatives much further away from their old districts than we've done to the Republicans. And whether that was done intentionally or not, or whether we knew it was done intentionally, but we didn't know it was done intentionally because we didn't know whose map we were pulling from, it doesn't really matter to me. To me, I am concerned about the results and the end result. And if we want to, I'd love to get to a map that we can agree on politically. And I think there probably is a number of districts that we could probably all agree to, with some number in the middle being more competitive and having a different lean. We get to some number of Democratic, strongly Democratic districts, some number of Republican strong districts, and some number that are competitive with a certain lean. I think that's a conversation we can all have. As Senator Stanley says, it's only 11 districts, right? And we can get to that number, but this isn't getting us any closer to that. And this map, it's great that we had one map, and we had 170 comments. I think 1 or 2 were positive. So, whatever we decide to do about going forward, I don't think that trying to tinker with this map gets us closer to where Senator Stanley and Senator McDougall and Senator Barker and Senator Locke and all of us want to be.
So I'm going to ask a question, and I guess it's going to be one of the electeds that answers this. On the current C1 map, and I would agree because I read all 169 comments on this, there were probably 2 positive comments on that map. What is I think maybe it's VPAP or someone has done analysis on each map to say how many districts are Republican leaning, how many are Democratic leaning. Do we know what C1 is? Has anyone done that analysis?
Madam Chairman?
Yes.
I have not, and I don't look at VPAP, but I think Dr. Creighton submitted a list that we all have right there. And so I haven't, Dr. Creighton can speak to it. I haven't done the math on it, but he pulled the election data from 12 to 18. So, and in that it shows 5 strong Democratic districts, 5 strongly Republican districts, and 1 lean Democratic district.
Dr. Creighton, is that what your analysis of C1 is looking like?
Madam Co-Chair,
Yes.
Our team sat down with all of the different maps. We've circulated it to